Beautiful. So yeah, what have you guys been up to over the last week?
I mean, I've been sleeping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot. It's quite nice, actually. Just get into my little cocoon, pretend that no one else exists. It's nice. And then you can just tell other people, I'm going to bed now, doesn't matter. Twerk wanted me for something yesterday. So I'm going to bed. And he went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with
What time is it?
Yes, well, I don't know. I've been sleeping all day. I'm a bear. I'm hibernating or something, mate. But now I'm really distracted by something that Saurus said just before the podcast, which was, did you see the AMD thing, which we'll talk about in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And Thriftbot is literally having a heart attack at the cheapness of these cards.
Yeah.
Seeing like I've already bought my 1080. God damn it.
That's
but,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't compare to
Well,
1080
wait,
at all.
you bought a 1080?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that. That's something.
Yeah, I've been making videos on stuff on
Yep.
2.4, the Drake Buccaneer, that sort of jazz. Like, I've got loads more random stuff. Tomorrow's Drake talk. Took me 2 days to write the script for that, all about Drake and the caterpillar and all that sort of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
But other than sleeping, playing Overwatch, and writing scripts and doing those vids, nothing much.
Have you played
really.
any Rust?
No.
No Rust.
His Rust
No, I've been
addiction
too-
is subsided for the time being.
No. So I will get back into Rust when I'm not so tired.
No.
Because I literally will go to sleep while doing something important.
I have a question
okay.
for you about the Buccaneer, and just because we have this, and we're probably not going to talk about it later, is those missile pods. You think you're going to be able to pull those off and put weapons on there, like you can
So I
with
think you're
the
gonna be able
Delta?
I think you're going to be able to pull them off. I don't think they're intended on the Delta either that you can pull them off and put weapons there. I think there'll be a slot specifically for rocket pods or fuel tanks or whatever,
Or
but not
missiles or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that it's probably going to be some form of rocket pod just because of the way it looks at the moment.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think it's going to be for conventional weapons. I do think it will have multiple uses.
So I was going to say, if you can put size, because they're size 3, right? If you could put size 3 weapons on there as well, oh my god.
I mean, it'd be ridiculous.
Those missile pods, the way they look at the moment, they're not too Drakey for me. With Drake stuff, I want the components hanging out for easy access, so they're just like exposed, and I want like the missiles just hanging off. The cheaper the better. Just load of if it's got loads of missiles for some reason, loads of rocket pods, I want the rockets exposed under the wing. Just all of them.
Yeah.
I like that about Drake. That's what it feels right to me.
Yeah. Make it
anyway,
feel a little more industrial. But
Twerkykins,
and
what have you been up to?
Twerk, what have you been doing?
So very similar to you, Bored. Since I worked overnight on Saturday, so I went in Saturday night at 2:00 in the morning. I streamed Sunday morning for a little while. I came back from work and streamed a little bit to talk about some of the changes that I made on my channel. So I've made some changes to the bot and the credit system and how I'm doing giveaways in the future. I'm not going to get into it.
Which is really
now.
cool, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if I guess I can go into it quickly. Well, basically, like, I'm doing raffles by your VIP level, so I'll do raffles for everybody. That's just a keyword, and it could be anything. Which the first one, I know the first raffle for everybody is going to be the second that 2.4 goes live. I'm going to give away a Reliant. Everyone's available; they can all get it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it'll I'll do multiple raffles based on your VIP level. So VIP bronze would be like $5 gift cards or $10 gift cards and flare items, and then VIP silver would be, I don't know, $25 gift cards and starter ships and like Steam games that are like valued around that area. And then VIP gold would be like your Drake Buccaneers and your Hornets and things like that I'm giving away. So it's like sort of like a sub-only giveaway, but you're able to buy up to those VIP raffles
with
those
channel
levels
credits.
With channel credits, exactly. So me and you and Proxys and Talung, we all sat here for a while and figured out this bot for like a good couple days, and it's working pretty well. I don't know if the amount of credits for each level is right yet. I think it's probably a little high, and I set it high on purpose because you can always tone it back. But if you make it too easy, then everybody's gold, and right, you can't change that for a month. So I figured I'd set it high and then scale it back if I'm unable to. So
sort of
you don't
balance
have
it
to
from
pay. Yeah, exactly. So the guys that pay, they get in it, no problem, no questions asked. But the guys that aren't unable to are still able to get into stuff at that level. So
sounds
it promotes
like Star Citizen, a little bit pay to win, if you ask me.
Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. And that was
I mean,
the
you
point.
guys, you remember you can buy all of this in channel. You do not need to spend money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought it was more fair for everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that, Gerald.
You just need to be a follower. Once you followed, that's it.
That's it. It was free. Didn't cost you anything to do that. So that was one of the big changes that I made. I've also the video that you guys are watching was we kind of have been practicing trying hopefully for when this stuff goes live is doing some like capture the Starfarer gameplay. And this one was me and Kazu versus Zorky and Proxys, I think, or Stargazer maybe. The one with Zorky and Proxys was really funny because the goal was you had the defenders and the people that were the pirates, I guess, and the pirates had to kill everybody and then fly the ship away. So one of them, we killed one of them, and then the other guy decided that he would go in the cockpit and self-destruct and then fly out of it and kill everybody else inside. But no, we had some fun. And the other thing was I played Subnautica on Monday, and I've watched other streamers play this game, and Talon was talking about playing it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to play it today. And we did a little vote in the channel, and everyone voted they wanted to play it. Wanted me to play it, so I played it, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
it's really, really fun. Saurus, I know you haven't played it, but you watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Bored, have you ever played Subnautica?
Yeah, so I played a little bit on VR. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like a fun.
It's Rust, but single player. It's quite fun.
Is that what Rust is like? Yeah, it's just like a fun. It's a beautiful game. Like lots of brightly colored.
When you play it to work, do you feel like the Little Mermaid, like I did?
I feel...
No?
I did that dance exactly.
Even BoredGamer went as far as to cosplay in it while he was playing. He put on a red wig and shell, the shell bra. He sent me some pictures. I was like, listen, man, I don't want to see these weird ass pictures of you dressed up as Ariel, all right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
no,
you do.
I don't.
No, he's going to get it.
No, he's going to get it.
No. But no, overall it's a really, really fun game, and I've enjoyed the shit out of it. So I'll probably play it again on Monday.
Do you have to worry about predators or anything like that? Like sharks and shit? Or like is there like alien
under the sea?
Oh god.
I don't
What?
I'm not even gonna look. I'm not gonna look.
This is how I play Subnautica, okay? I'm a pretty princess. What? It's all about immersion, isn't it?
It is. Everything's about immersion.
What am I doing with my life?
I don't know.
But no, like I've enjoyed it. It's definitely a game that's good. It's just another game to add to the lineup for when things get a little boring with your main game and stuff like that. So it's a good way to mix it up. So I have that now. I have Stellaris. I have Everspace. So I have all sorts of games that I can throw in there and have some fun. Yeah, you really look like David Bowie as a mermaid.
Yeah, it was actually part of my David Bowie costume.
It makes sense.
There's a picture on my Facebook with me with a lightning strike across my face.
Nice.
No, right?
Yeah, what have you been up to, Saurus? That's about it for me.
I have been playing a lot of Star Citizen 2.4. Been doing a lot of that. It's been really good for emergent gameplay and stuff like that, and being able to play with other people and do other stuff, whether it's me taking over ships, like you can see here, or holding down Korea and collecting my what I like to call rent. But all in all,
Yeah.
it's been really fun because I've been able to
Going to
play
get rent.
going to pick up rent, guys.
All right, time to pick up rent.
Yeah, every 15 minutes. But it's been really good because it's a way to identify other people on your team is a lot easier. So that's been really fun. I got most of my new audio.
These clothes.
Most of my new audio equipment is in. I'm still waiting on my mixer, unfortunately. So that's the only piece I'm missing. So my mic, the compressor, the preamp, all the cables and everything. The one piece I like all the other stuff I don't need except for the mic and the cables and the mixer. And the mixers, I checked it this morning. It still hasn't left Kentucky, which is the eBay outbound international thing, since the 18th. So I don't know what's going on with that. They have 2 more days before it gets here, and I gotta message them or whatever. So hopefully that comes in soon because I really want to set that up. I pulled apart my entire office and cleaned my computers, switched them around so I had more room for the audio setup. Put up all my new, I guess, equipment here, or the foam stuff here. I can show you guys that here really quickly with this guy. Oh, that's not going to work. Well, you can kind of see it here in that picture there. But yeah, so I have it on all the walls and everything, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's definitely a lot less of an echo coming from me, which is really good, which is what the whole purpose of that was. So it did a lot of that. Haven't really played anything else. Haven't played Overwatch or anything. Messed around with some more VR stuff. I'm doing, just getting ready for that. Having some meetings and a lot of emails back and forth with some other sort of news. With that is with the Streamhouse stuff. Talking to some people about making an actual show. So that's very cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. So very excited about that. That's pretty much all the details I can give for that right now. But as soon as I can talk about more, I definitely will. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just playing a lot of 2.4. It's been replayable and with people right now.
Definitely.
And I think that and like I said, we'll talk about this later, but I think when this goes to public, I'm hoping that we get even more people in, and it should be pretty fun. But yeah, just going through and you can see me just taking over ships. It's just super fun to be playing with people and doing stuff and not worrying about shooting them all the time. I still shoot people sometimes because they scare me coming around corners. I have bad trigger discipline. But yeah. But why don't we jump into, first off, let's do HCS voice pack and voice attack giveaway on the channel. This is going to be open for everybody. Just if you haven't, please follow myself and Twerk on Twitch and BoredGamer on the YouTubes. Woo! And type in, I don't know, Twerk will set that up.
HCS, but I'll get it ready.
Okay.
I've never checked to see if one of you guys has followed me on YouTube. So, I mean,
Oh, wow,
just
that's
pretend.
nice.
Just pretend that you have.
But you probably should.
You should. I mean, it would be the best YouTube subscription you ever make.
Yeah.
That's right.
BoredGamer confirmed next PewDiePie.
Yeah.
PewDiePie!
Oh, where it says comes with voice pack, that means comes with voice attack.
Yeah.
I can't do his voice.
Yeah.
Just
So it's very cool. That is the HCS voice pack called Orion, which is voiced by William Shatner. And huge shout out to HCS and voice pack. I did the same thing.
He's Spock, right?
And I thought he was the Wookiee.
Oh, he's the guy that does he's the guy in the Wookiee
Yeah.
suit.
I thought he was He's Han Solo, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He plays them both.
Jedi.
He plays that Wookiee.
Because nobody knows because you can't see his face.
Han Solo.
And Han Solo at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Han Solo, that was the guy who made out with his mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, huge shout out to HCS for providing us with the voice packs
Seriously.
and Voice Attack for giving us those copies of Voice Attack. We have a bunch of those that are still being given away, both on Twerk's channel, my channel, a bunch of the Redacted guys, and the Noobifier for setting that up. Yeah, so exclamation point HCS, get in that. Or don't. I mean, I don't really care. You get new glasses?
Notice?
No, I didn't.
Source doesn't care.
They're the same.
What do you mean I don't care?
They're the same, but they're bigger.
Oh.
Because every time I look down,
They,
you know, like,
they fell?
you guys don't wear glasses, but like, if they're really short, you just can't see.
Listen,
So I got bigger ones, so when I look down, I can actually see shit.
They've Teknoaxe glasses have actually been getting slightly bigger every week. No one's noticed, and now they've got to a critical size where we're starting to notice them getting bigger.
Yeah, it's like every time I tell a lie, my glasses get bigger. So they're getting really big now. And it's always when I say how much I enjoy BoredGamer's company.
Yeah.
My glasses just grow larger and larger.
Oh, fuck you.
So, Saurus, I could see your umbrellas in your glasses.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Those reflection of my umbrellas?
Is that to keep the sun out?
Yeah.
Is that to keep
Jenny,
the
you
sun
want to
out?
go in the back and get me something hot?
What is that? We are off
your
the
health.
rails today.
We are off the rails. We need to do a drunk podcast soon, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, 2.4 was not supposed to come out.
Yeah.
How about this? If 2.4 doesn't go live this week,
It's
then
definitely
we're really
gonna
not
go
going
live
to...
this week.
I
Let's
know,
just,
but if it doesn't...
let's just plan to do one soon
Okay.
in the next couple weeks.
Let's do it next week. Well, can
let's,
you drink?
That is.
let's
I
wait for
can
me to get
drink,
paid
yeah.
first because
Okay.
I just paid bills and damn son.
Okay, so
broke.
after the 15th.
Yeah,
of
after
June.
the 15th. Yeah, so why don't we
We'll plan one.
jump into yeah. Burke, you do your thing.
Well, I guess one of the things that we just discussed was 2.4 is still on the PTU, man.
Yep. And we are on patch M.
We're on patch M. More patches than we've ever had before for any patch.
This was
And I
more
don't
than
know if that's
2.0?
a good thing. Huh? More than 2.0. 2.0 got to like I.
Yeah, I think we even had a fucking little competition about that, didn't we? Little bet.
Mm.
But so
I said it would be J or something. Like it went faster than this. But at the same time, I don't think they put as many patches out.
But with the iterations on 2.4, they are actually adding significant content, as we discussed last
Oh
week.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is during the PTU. This is the most extra content we've ever seen added. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like one of the things that's really cool is that every patch, the reason that they're patching is because of like they're fixing the client crashes and the server crashes that we're having, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've gotten better, I guess. Like there's days where it seems like there's times where you stream and you have a few more than you feel you should, and there's times where you don't. But overall, they've gotten better. I feel, and I don't know if you guys would agree or not, but that's my opinion on them.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes, but for the most part, it's very much getting
for
better.
example today. Yeah, like for example today, I felt the servers were more stable. My FPS was a little bit more stable, but I had an issue where my EVA pack was coming off again.
Right.
And like we thought that was fixed, and it wasn't. So that was one of those steps forward and then a step back type of thing. But one of the things that they're doing with every patch on top of fixing that stuff is they're balancing the gameplay of what they've added with the persistence and all that to make it more enjoyable. So at first it was a little bit heavy towards the defender kind of player as far as or like the goody two shoes type of player as to who was gonna make the money, and the pirates really weren't, right? And then from suggestions from everybody in the community, but I know Saurus had a big part in a lot of this stuff, was the amount of money the pirates were making went up pretty significantly over the last 3 or 4 patches, right?
I may or may not be sitting at like 140k UEC.
Yeah.
Get wiped. Get wiped.
Yeah, it's gonna get wiped.
I'll just make it again.
Yeah, so like on top of them doing that, they're making iterations to make the game more fun because there actually is a game to make more fun now, right? Like Arena Commander's always just been there, and it was just kind of, oh, in order for it to be more fun, you need to balance. And they kind of did do it and didn't do it sometimes, but this was, it's just easier fixes. You just change numbers, and like I guess it's not about the flight model and the way missiles work, and it's not as complicated. So they're able to just make some changes to make things a little bit more fun. And I think you really have to appreciate that, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
God, yeah. And it's so with people saying that they when is it going to be released? It could be literally any day. I mean, the M patch only changed a couple of things, with server crashes and client crashes, and made the Pyroblast look a bit sexier. And fixed a couple of other things.
And the Pyroblast worked, but again, like I said, this one took a few steps back as far as some bugs that came back in. That invisible, there's where you wake up invisible. You used to just kill yourself and you were good. You'd come back fine, and like that's okay, whatever. But I was invisible over and over and over again one time. On top of that, like I said, the EVA packs thing. Like I was wearing a pirate suit, and then I switched to a medium marine suit, and whatever suit you switch from now, it keeps the helmet that you have on, and that's causing the issue with your pack. So then, basically,
it's probably stacking the armors on top of each other.
Yeah, it's like the helmet and the backpack are sort of together. Then when you change
so what you have to do is
it messes up with it or something.
Yeah, you have to go all the way. You have to find your room upstairs, take your suit off, and then equip it downstairs. So you can't switch off. But then you get your EVA pack. So that was one of the things I was kind of preparing for the podcast today and running some errands. But I have to put that up on the issue council because that was a big.
It's a biggie,
yeah. Before it goes live, so I'm sure it's we can fix that and no problem. But yeah, that was one of the things. So and one of the things that I love and one of those changes that they made, and this is something that I've really enjoyed, is the Comrade changes. So where everybody was getting 1,000 UEC to turn on a Comrade, right? But if you turned it off, you didn't get anything. But now, if the Comrades are off and a good player goes there, pirates come, and you have to kill them off to turn it back on and get your
monies.
Yeah, your money. So, but if you're a pirate player, you get a mission to kill other players at these Comrades, and you get 500 each kill. So it's pretty worth it to as a pirate to go and turn off the Comrade. And it's like, ooh, people are going to come here and try and turn it back on.
For me, all of the conflict that they're trying to promote in the game with two sides and these kind of missions is great for testing, but it's great for gameplay. I mean, so you don't know what's going to happen. You might go on a server and it might be like pretty much PvE for a good few hours, but you might go on a server and it's going to be...
That's how my last one was today.
Hostile. Yeah.
And I was trying to make it PvP and people just didn't want to play, and I actually got like really bored. And I was like, wow, am I getting bored of 2.4 or were people just boring today? And I'm pretty sure people
for the gameplay.
Just boring. Yeah.
As soon as we can fill servers ourselves, I mean, we can have.
I think this is what I was talking about with it going to public, right? It's going to be a lot easier to pull people in and get those things going, right? Normally you go in with 6 to 8 people on your party, you're going to get a new server, so it'll be easy for say myself and someone who's streaming at the same time as me, get our groups together and get into the same server, and just do those fights. And even if not, you have your group of people and you can just go around doing whatever, stealing Starfarers. And
maybe CIG should do like that you can sponsor like an animal and adopt an animal. Maybe we should be able to adopt a server.
Yeah,
like adopting a highway, adopting a highway.
Can you imagine? Actually, I think CIG would make a lot of money from adopting servers.
I wonder how much it would cost to have a redacted server.
We wouldn't be able to have a proper server. We'd have to basically sponsor some CPU cores. Is basically what it would be.
Yeah.
Although I suppose it wouldn't be on the realms of possibility to sponsor a single server with a load of people.
Yeah.
I
wonder.
We're
Yeah.
CIG. Take that seriously. Right?
Yeah.
Because that'd be cool. I'd pay for preferential treatment on bandwidth. Jeez.
Then we go in. There's no lag. It's beautiful.
I'll pay to win. Make my ships invincible. Come on, God made me. Come on. Just flying around in my bright yellow Aurora.
Oh, can't wait till we get to paint ships.
Oh man, yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Paint
Oh,
ships and like dye your own clothes to whatever color.
I
you
still
want.
love flying around the verse in the S by S South by Southwest.
Yep.
That's
That's one of the
Aurora.
best skins.
Yeah. It's
That's
just
one of the
so
best
joyful.
skins.
Because
Yep.
people like you see people that clock you and go, "What the hell is wrong with that Aurora?" And they just like float around you for like 10 minutes, going, "Different colours."
Yeah. How do you get that?
Look at all the
$5,
colors it
man.
is.
MLG Pro Me. So you do that.
Now, one thing that I noticed though about those Comrade missions is you can hide in the Comrade. Like you can turn it off, have your buddy blow your ship up and you leave. So it looks like nobody's there. Right? Somebody comes in, they kill off the NPC pirates and they go inside, and then you blow their brains off with a shotgun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have no one to leave. You have no way to leave. First off.
I bet you can take their ship, can't you?
You could.
You could, but sometimes, like, I couldn't find their ship one time, right? And then second, you're just kind of sitting there, and it's not that much fun doing it that way. But it is fun to dogfight around the comrades. And then with Korea, it's much more fun to
Run around.
be an FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that they kind of brought both in, because I noticed it just at the comrades it promotes a lot more dogfighting. Korea, I don't see anybody blowing up ships on landing pads anymore. People are allowing
I do,
people to
but
come
it's
into
just so people can request more ships.
Yeah, it's just so people can request more ships. That's it.
Yeah.
It's kind of impolite in the PTU to leave a ship vacant if you're not going to be using it for a while.
Yeah. So just blow it up so people can keep joining, because everyone has that issue.
Something
right
I
now,
learned from blowing up ships is I took over this was last night. I took over a Starfarer, and the self-destruct has 33 seconds, which is enough to get out, jump over the railing, and go out the back, and float away just in time to turn around and watch it explode.
And watch it.
It's amazing.
That's
and I'll
cool.
do it again when I go live today, but it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I'll have to do that tomorrow for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just nice to actually have a game, because you don't realize that what we did for 2 years almost. Right?
Let's talk about some of the things that are wrong, or not necessarily wrong, but are bad with this patch, or that we would like to see fixed. There's a couple things for me, and one of them is the reflection on the Starfarer, on the windows.
Oh my god,
That needs to be
I'm
fixed.
surprised they haven't fixed that yet. It just must not be that like other things are so much more important to fix right now.
I don't know what it was that caused it, but the spawning ships in and having them floating like 40 meters in above the landing pad, and it confusing, and some ships spawning underneath and whatever.
So surely that glass, they could just turn off reflections on it, and just say it's anti-glare glass.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, they can just turn it off temporarily until they fix it. The spawning invisible is something that needs to be fixed, and
or without a head.
Something that I take more advantage of than I should is being able to go through the door. So being able to clip through doors is very easy.
Yeah.
The wiggle.
And makes that whole room in Korea
wiggle.
Irrelevant entirely. So those are some of the things that I would like to see fixed for live. I don't know if they're going to. Oh, and the weapon sights on purchased weapons.
We've still got issues when Starfarers load in.
Yep. The lag.
Yeah. And when doors open, there's that brief second of loading time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when it's black or it's loading in the stuff behind it, that needs to get fixed for me, because that's annoying when I'm filming.
Yeah.
Because I go, immersion broken.
Yeah, I agree with you.
A lot of those things aren't blockers to go live, though.
Those aren't blockers to go live, but I would just I think that they're... Now, I don't know about the door thing, because I think the door thing is a little more involved. But
Yeah, probably.
I'm not sure about the invisible spawning thing. But I feel, and I could be wrong, I'm not a game developer, but I feel like the other things would be minor fixes to fix those things, right? Maybe not the doors, maybe not clipping through them or the loading thing, because I know they sort of are more of like a teleportation kind of deal. But things like the shader, things like the weapon sites, things like spawning the ships above the landing pads, I think those are all would be fairly easy to fix. I hope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they may be tied to other things, and that may be why they're harder to fix. But I would like to see fixes for them.
What about you, Twerk? Anything that you've noticed that you can want to whine or bitch or be salty about?
One thing that was funny this morning was I was like, all right, they've done more server fixes. I'm going to do all the ICC missions, right? So one thing, if you guys didn't notice yet, with this patch that was actually quite a big change, is they ordered all the ICC missions in order of the ones that they have the most problems with now. So they're all in different places. So they're in a different order than what you're used to. And when I got to the fifth one, Luke_CIG was there, and he goes, yeah, so that's it for the ICC missions, because we kind of forgot to put the last 3 in. And I was like, oh, okay. So I would like to complete the last 3, just to be able to do all 8, and that's a good amount of money.
And there was an issue with one of them that was spawning in a lot of pirates, or a lot of, I think it was a lot of pirates.
Yeah.
Like if a lot of people are going to the same missions at the same time, and it really bogs down the server.
Yeah. So and that I mean, that's like Comrace too, man. If that was another thing that happened today a couple times when we were doing the Comrace gameplay, is 5 or 6 people all came to the Comrace, and the Comrace was down. So it was just 12 pirates plus 6 people. Like, there were just ships everywhere, and the server just eventually crashed. You know, because it was
getting
just
a lot
too
of
much.
code 0s this server or this time. I'm not seeing as many code 7s, but I haven't
seen one.
Code 1s.
Are you using the shotgun? The only time I've seen the code 1 was when using the shotgun.
Like the FPS
and that was
shotgun?
during the. No, the
I don't use the weapon.
Shotgun.
No, I don't.
Okay. So that's the only time that I've ever seen that, and that was during the Arena Commander stress test. Was the only time that I saw the code.
Mm-hmm.
And things were really weird, and then I got the code 1s, but then I haven't seen it since. So I'm not sure what that is really.
Have you used the Pyroblast in the M patch?
Yes.
What do you think?
So it works. I don't think it does as much damage as it used to. So what I did was I loaded up a Saber with 2 Tarantulas and 2 shotguns, because they shoot about the same speed, which is awesome. So but the Tarantulas are longer range. So you start with your Tarantulas on your number 1 group, and you fire from range. And then if you don't kill them from range, you get a little closer and you fire both. But the shotguns, for me, I just have a problem. I'm bad at the game. I'm bad at flying. Plus, the FPS is pretty low a lot of the time. So you come up on a ship pretty quickly, and I run into them a lot, because you want to get so close to get it to make sure it hits with all the things that I end up crashing into them a lot. So I haven't had I need to bring them into Arena Commander and try them, right? And then in that high FPS position, and see what it's like, or in Vandal Swarm or something. But I have only used them in the PU.
What you we should.
I don't have an opinion yet.
I'll be around tomorrow if you want to do some gun testing in the.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arena
maybe we'll play some Arena Commander. I think there's some pretty bad crashes or something, but we'll give it a try. I thought I read something about a pretty bad crash.
Yeah, they were saying I think it was Battle Royale was experiencing some crashes in the patch notes.
Yeah, so we'll give it a try, and we'll see what happens if they push another patch or something. But yeah. So I mean, that's 2.4 in a nutshell of what we've been doing this week. I can't wait to get it to go to live and play with everybody. I think that's what this patch like needs.
How far away from the live candidate do you think we are?
After today, with some of those weird bugs I have, I thought we would have gone this week, but now I don't know. But like, we really need
end
to
of the
go
week, early next week.
They really need to just do it.
Shall we read the breaking news that's come through from?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
The. Okay, then yes, since it's in the chat. Patch N's gonna come out in 90 minutes, guys.
Okay.
I don't think it's something that we can say though normally.
No, it's they want people to.
It's the PTU. It's not avocados.
Yeah, but I don't know where they shared that. So, but I don't know. The way it played today, I don't know if it's gonna go live yet. We'll see what this next patch in 90 minutes does. Maybe they fixed a lot of the issues that they had. But
I think they're gonna try and get that patch live, in my opinion, for the weekend. That's what they're gonna try and do. So they're gonna be all hands on deck.
Yeah.
I think where their mentality is we have so many crashes and so many bugs that need to get fixed and so many patches to put out to see if they get fixed that they really don't want to push it to live, where everybody just downloads it, plays it for 5 minutes, and then puts it down.
Yeah, it costs them so much money to do that.
Because it costs them so much money. So, I know that's why we're where we are right now, is because they know that they have a few more to get through before they get there, right? Because if they were only 1 away or 2 away before they were comfortable with where they were as far as the bugs go, I think they would just push it to live and then make a couple like 2.4.1, 2.4.2, and then kind of leave it until we get 2.5 on the PTU type of situation. So that's what makes me think that we're not there yet, and maybe not this week. I don't want to be negative about it. I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but that's just kind of maybe where their mind is at and why we're not there yet, which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's too far off.
No, but I don't like a week isn't that far off either, you know?
Yeah.
And
for how long we've been waiting?
Let's be relatively serious. We've got persistence, but they haven't stress tested the persistence with a load of people. They just haven't.
Yeah,
that's an important part of it. I would expect them to open it up to a lot more people on the PTU before they went live, but I don't know. Maybe they automatedly tested it or something with virtual clients or something.
Yeah, like I don't know how many subs there are. Nobody really does, and I don't know how many
a lot
actually
more now.
downloaded. Yeah, I would imagine. How do you guys feel about that? Now, before we even share our opinion on that, they've already said that this was just kind of something that they wanted to do this one time. They probably won't do it again.
I think it was them testing the waters.
Of what would happen?
Of
how people
are going to react, how many people are going to sub, that kind of thing.
Could be.
Now, I'm for it and kind of against it. I mean, I get maybe they're low on subs right now or whatever for the community content. Maybe they think it's possibly a good way to do that and to get people who want to be active in to be able to be able to say, here's $10, I want in.
And when you look at subscribers, they're probably a majority of your active.
Yeah, well, the people, the thing
right?
is the people that aren't active aren't going to be the ones downloading the patch, right?
Yeah,
and the ones that are going to be. So it's kind of a hit and miss. Like it's something that I don't think it should be a pay to test thing. I don't really like that. But at the same time, I see like they have to keep it limited to a certain amount of people. And it
might have been a number that they liked.
Yeah.
My opinions are relatively well known on the subject, as I may have appeared in some internet troll blogs with my opinion on this. Yeah, indeed. I'll show you later, Twike.
Okay.
But basically, I don't mind CIG making money in certain situations.
No, not at all.
And I like the idea of them allowing subscribers go on to the PTU early, but not the first people. The first people need to be the avocados, whatever.
No, of course.
Then the people that test the most. That first wave testers, the people that test the most.
Yeah, those
help
first
the most.
wave people. And that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Second wave subscribers. Totally fine with that. In fact, I think that's good. That's a literal extra perk for subs. And if people are getting really, really upset because they have to wait an extra week, why are you mad? Only video game. So
why do you have to be mad?
Why do you have to be mad? I mean, I understand people that think that really want to get into Star Citizen. But yeah, just be more active on the issue council and stuff, or become a sub.
That's the thing is they made sure that it was clear that this probably won't happen the next time.
I want them to. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good perk. They need to give perks to their subs because the perks for the subs at the moment aren't that amazing.
Which is why I think they did it. Because
sub.
I think they know that a lot of subscribers give a lot of money every year.
It's just a really fine line of that paying to get access more to more stuff. And that's
which is a little borderline.
Yeah, it's that's why I'm on the fence about it. I don't have strong opinions one way or another. But it's very easy for them to step over that line. I feel.
Oh yeah.
But it's also a very clear line where so we had the avocados, which is sort of unclear exactly how to get into it. There's no do this, and this, and you're guaranteed to get in. And then that next wave of PTU, there's no clear do this, and this, and then you get in. But with the subscribers, okay, I pay $10 and I get to play the patch that everybody's enjoying right now. So while I don't like the idea, because I think a lot of people have paid enough money for any ship in this game to be able to play it. I do like that if you want to play, this is what you have to do, and I like that it's very clear,
a clear precedent.
Exactly, even though it has a paywall in front of it. I think it makes it better because of that.
So, I mean, this is one of the reasons people wanted alpha access that they got rid of. It's because they wanted to be included in these tests whenever. And now that they've changed the process of doing it, some people are annoyed. But I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Because it is annoying and it's frustrating, especially when you're really into Star Citizen, especially when you've spent $1,000 on a ship. I mean, concierge people must be going mental if they're not getting into.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I spent $10,000 on ships or something. So yeah, I understand people's frustration with it, but they are only having to wait an extra week or two. But CIG will improve that system, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely, and I just don't think any other patch until maybe, where our system gets a little larger or something like that, like where they add additional planets or planetary landing or some sort of crazy tech. One of the next crazy tech things that come in, like procedural planets or like whatever, right? So whatever the next crazy tech thing that happens, which I'm guessing would be, I don't know, buying ships maybe would be the next, that's not crazy tech, but that's the next big thing, or the pirate base that we're going to talk about in a little bit. I think maybe stuff like that is what will kind of, I don't think we'll ever get a patch like this again where it takes this long, right? Because ironing out all these bugs with
we might with things like procedural planet generation and going down to planets and any of the big features. You expect it to be a process, man.
Where are we with that, though?
I don't know. But that's the thing, is you can't say that this is going to be our longest patch time when when we don't know.
For a while.
Yeah, we don't know how far out that is.
We still don't know that yet either.
Right. But it could be not the next patch, but the patch after that they bring that stuff in and it slows down again. There's no way of sort of telling because they kind of keep a lot of that stuff hush-hush.
Items. The items, when I think the item system, what if that comes in next patch?
Yeah. Or more of it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of the first
okay,
implementation.
we have
here.
parts of it, but like on that subscriber live stream that they had last week, I mean, they talked about when item 2.0 comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't think we really have it to where like, and the things that it brings in are going to be things that are huge changes. Like, we talked about this last week, where it will bring in where you're looking at the outside of a ship. If you don't see the inside of a ship, the game doesn't render it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to bring in these improvements, but there's likely going to be bugs with those improvements, right?
Nah. CIG have never put bugs into a... Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
So maybe for the next little while, I kind of take what I say back. Maybe for the next little while, we're going to have patches like this where there's going to be a lot of bugs. We're going to go all the way up to M in our PTU, right? Or N or wherever
N now.
we are.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's going to be like this now, but this is so much better than where we were with like Missile Commander, and they just left us for a month or 2 months just dealing with that.
Yeah.
And no real talk.
Never forget Star Marine Aftermath.
They can always add stuff so quickly now as well. So it's just the turnaround is a billion times better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's gameplay that can like pass us over that time now, which is really nice. So it's just, I think we're like climbing the mountain,
mm-hmm.
and we're like,
why are we climbing
still
the mountain?
Because
hug the mountain.
Yeah. So where you get to the point where you can get your arms around, we're still a little way away from there, but it's going to be a bit. So yeah, maybe we might have some patches like this in the future, but
yeah,
I don't like soon. I don't think it's going to be bad like this all the time, and
no, but I also don't think patches are going to be this big all the time either, right?
Exactly.
That's
I would hope
thing.
that 2.5,
depending on what the patches are. If you look at the patches in between 2.0 and 2.4, they're pretty. They're small. There's not a lot really in them. There's some fixes and stuff like that.
There's a good bit of back end in them though.
Yeah, but not as much as
they
this
got
one.
Us here.
Not as much as 2.0.
They got us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's not as rigorous testing with those things, or not as forward facing, I guess. Right to us.
They didn't drop
as it is.
They didn't drop a massive ship and make it flyable in game, and they didn't drop persistence, money, clothing, armor, and buying of weapons. Right? Yeah. Like I can't. And on top of that, all these new missions with the pirate versus defender stuff, like the amount of gameplay added to this is more than any patch we've ever had.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that they've set a precedent? Since 2.0, they've released at least 2 ships. One to hangar and one flyable. Every patch. Do you think that they've set a precedent to that where people are going to expect 2 ships per patch now?
I'm sure people are going to expect that.
Yeah.
But has Star Citizen ever set
do you think it's reasonable for people to expect that?
I don't think it's reasonable for people to expect anything from CIG.
I mean, I think it's
there has to be some sort of expectation in patches.
I think that's a reasonable expectation to me. I would expect a hangar-ready ship or some new ships every time. We're not going to get it, but I would expect it.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think I disagree with you, Saurus, and I'm sure you can argue.
No, I'm asking a question. I'm not saying I'm saying one way or another. Board is saying
there has to be some expectation for patches.
Well, there does have to be something. They can't just put out a monthly patch notes that say some server fixes, some client crashes.
I mean, they could, but
people, yeah, okay,
they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
But that's the thing with these guys is and I wish people understood it a little bit more. Is they're going to put things out when they're ready to put them out. So that's why I don't have that's what I mean.
Right, but knowing on how fast their pipeline is for ships, maybe saying their pipeline for, like, let's say, for example, if there's no major features coming in a patch, that it would be reasonable to expect, let's say, one ship, some new clothing items, maybe new FPS weapon. Like or a new ship weapon or something like that's what we can kind of expect when we're not getting something that's a big feature include. And I'm just sort of wondering what you guys think about that, and what do you think we're gonna get for patches in between these larger feature drops? Maybe the word expectation is what's triggering you, but it's
Maybe.
it's
So
because
triggered.
because that's not what I mean. It's like what would you find a reasonable
But
patch
they
that
do
doesn't
give us
have
a
any?
patch.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they do give you a patch, what would you like to see included in it if it doesn't have any major features in it?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, like
Like that, like what we got for 2.1,
balance.
2.2, 2.3, like balance stuff that we've been getting, and
Balance
server
stuff by
fixes
watching
and things like
and
that.
watching the issue council and stuff like that. Like, ooh, this doesn't like. I don't like the way this gameplay feels. Like, oh, maybe if you did this, this would work. I expect that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to. One thing that I really like to see more of is them looking at ships and balancing the way certain ships fly. I feel like those are just XML numbers or just numbers that could be changed around a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think they do that enough. But like clothing, I don't know how. I mean, look at how long it's taken them to put. I think it was how to get clothing to work on us.
Yeah, I think it's
so
how to
maybe
get
now
clothing
going
working.
forward,
Right.
it'll be a lot easier to just make.
Same with
clothing.
now that you can buy armor and you can buy weapons. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they maybe surprise us with being able to buy attachments for live. But like
I want attachments. Give me attachments. Woo!
once they include
Yeah.
those things, right? I feel like a lot of them are just aesthetic, right? So all the flight suits are pretty much just aesthetics. There's just different paint jobs on their
Yeah,
things, and they can
they
all
are at the moment, but they're
Right.
going to be ordered with different attachment points at some point.
right.
Yeah.
Right. But as of right now, and
Mhm.
same with the clothing is sort of its own thing, and they could add the attachment points onto those clothing items and onto the spacesuits and stuff like that later on. It would just be nice to have more options going forward, just like we have with ships, right? We just have those more options. Right now, I think that our FPS weapon selection is very lackluster for how long it's been in. But, you know, it's now that we can purchase them and they don't have to just scatter them all over the place for us to find or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be cool, and I think that would be a cool precedent for them to set, or something that where we can, even if we know there's no real big features coming, we can get excited about, oh, this is some new clothing or new armor, as well as maybe one or two ships and whatever, like they have been doing for I mean, to be fair, they have been releasing ships every major patch for a long time.
I mean,
Well, let's have this discussion now. Then, what do we think? Go ahead, Ford.
I'd be happy with them to release female clothing before they release the female model. I'd happily be a pretty princess.
What-
Man, the amount of trolls that would be running around Star Citizen in the 2.2.
Oh God, I know I would be. But
Yeah.
what do we think?
How
What
does
do
my
we expect
butt
for
look,
2.5? I don't expect 2.5 to be a big patch.
No, I don't.
So I know one of the things that they mentioned, and I have this in the docs. We might as well talk about it now. Is the pirate base?
Yeah, pirate base. I expect to probably see the Herald in hangar.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And with the pirate base,
and possibly even
comes
flyable.
pirate clothing.
Yeah, pirate clothing.
Is what they talked about.
Maybe some more like all the flight suits we have are now kind of whatever, but maybe some more piratey or scraggly looking flight suits. Maybe move the outlaw armor over to the pirate base.
Yeah, I think they'll move that out of...
have those separate. So Garrity Defense sounds very much like a UEE sanctioned place where you could have somewhere that's a little seedier that has the other stuff, right? Like that heavy pirate armor is made out of illegal, like
Ship
salvaged,
parts.
salvaged military ship parts, right? So that's illegal to sell. So like there's a lot of stuff that could move over to that.
I'm thinking that they'll probably open up Dumper's Depot.
Also missions. I think it'd be very once again, we're not developers, and I could just be pulling this right out of my ass. But they may be they could add on to the missions that we have and add more depth into that. Add more into the exploration side of things, like we have with Kovalex or we have with Yella. Maybe put out a derelict Starfarer that we can go around, and even if there's just some money and some weapons in it somewhere, go in, like have a derelict that's just more than just a ship hull flying out, like floating out in space. Have something that you can actually explore. Because right
What
now,
about-
outside of Kovalex and Korea,
I want to see more
that's it.
Kovalex type missions.
Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
want to see too. I want to see
Yeah.
I want to see Kovalex bigger.
Story. I want some more story.
Mhm.
It was a little scary the first time I did Kovalex because the atmosphere
Yeah.
over there is
Yeah.
great. Having a mission like Kovalex with a bit of threat there, that might be cool as well.
Yes.
And
And not
but-
knowing
so-
if there's going to be threat there or not. Having
Yeah,
that suspense. Because right now it's like, well, if you see a ship outside, you know that it might
Yeah,
go
that
down.
somebody's inside, so you just pull out your weapon and shoot the first
What,
guy. you
ab-
see.
what about the Caterpillar? Do you guys think it's too early for Caterpillar?
Okay, so
I don't
this
know
is...
how old what they showed us was, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I would say that if they have 2 ships ready, one would be the Caterpillar ready for hangar and one would be the Herald ready for flight. I think that would be the most... unless there's another ship they're working on.
Well, the flight ready Reliant, we know that.
Oh, flight. Okay, so
That's
yeah, the
pretty true.
Reliant can go to flight ready. That's true. Reliant can go to flight ready, and Herald could come into the
Hangar.
to the hangar.
But we do think that the Caterpillar's probably quite close, though, don't we?
Caterpillar is a couple patches away. It's
Okay.
pretty big. I think not only do they have to make the... I mean, I guess they don't have to make the other modules to go with it, and they just have to make the one and then clone them 4 times.
Yeah, I think they. So originally, it
'Cause
was
it's
supposed
gonna
to be
be-
like 65 meters long or something.
It's
The Caterpillar.
110 or
It's
120.
between 100. It's between 100 and 130, probably 110. That's what they said currently.
Everything gets bigger.
Yeah,
That's a big difference. That's
longer than the
potentially-
Starfare.
That's potentially longer than the Corvette that's coming out. So that's pretty exciting
Mhm.
for anyone that's got one of those ships for $245. Yeah, I'm really excited about the Caterpillar now.
Well, let-
And one of the
Hmm.
cool things that they mentioned about the Caterpillar, which I just briefly heard this, and I didn't put it in any docs, I just remembered it now, is they mentioned that they're going to put it on sale again, possibly
Oh, concept,
at
possibly.
the concept sale price, and then later on release it for that upped
Caterpillar?
price. So they're going to give us I think a lot of these concept ships that have been sitting around for a while, I think they're going to give us another shot at them. Is some of the things they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're totally reconcepting it. Basically, it's a big ship.
Because I know
I think
that I want to buy it.
I think that would let people who wanted to buy it,
Yeah.
whereas they wouldn't if it was a Starfare price, what it is now.
Exactly.
Right?
Like I would never, like at this point, I would not be buying any of these ships at these up
Mhm.
prices that they're at now because they're just so much money.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So
Well,
I
that's great.
like that they're probably going to give us a chance to do
So,
that.
do we think they're going to reiterate on insurance, but have some sort of much more in-depth insurance than the next
I don't think
patch?
for a while.
I don't know.
I don't
How
think
far
we're
can
gonna
they
have it
go?
for a while, because they can't. Number one,
What can
how
they
are they
do?
gonna do it? What they have is
It's
the
awesome.
insurance. Yeah, it works and it balances it out a little bit.
And it's a
And-
good gold sink.
Yeah. Like, there's no way
Yeah,
for them to do a monthly fee and then you lose your ship, because the game's not even out yet. You can't do that. So, well, I think what
And
they
by the
have
way,
now is
Randy
actually
Vasquez
perfect.
said it's 100 meters in length, just about 100 meters. But it
I
could
think
get
he's
larger.
answering the Starfare.
No, he said cat.
Or did
Cat
he
is
say
about
cat?
100 meters in
Yeah.
length.
Okay.
That's pretty sexy still.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Sorry to
So
interrupt you, but
Yeah.
mechanic wise, so I'm feeling that refueling, cargo, salvage, and repair are all getting ready for first implementation, sort of thing, like really basic maybe. So do we think any of those are going to be in the next 2.5, 2.6 patches?
as in refueling with the Starfare, because obviously we can refuel now.
Yeah, you're refueling with with a hose and the Starfare. Fuel collection and refueling.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good.
Because
it's a
this is
good
the thing,
planet
is
to do
all
it
the
around.
ships need somewhere to refuel too. And they don't have that. That's all something that needs
they
to
have
be added.
Crusader. That's the thing is if you should be able to go close to Crusader and refuel at it, because
Yeah.
it's a gas giant potentially, but I don't know really if that's there. I don't know if they're anywhere near that. And the
Well,
one
not
thing
only
is,
that, like how are
would
you going to
mention it.
refuel other ships with the Starfarer if there's no connection point on all the ships? Is what I'm
that's a good
saying.
point.
They don't
Yeah, that's a
have
good
they don't
point.
have that. So
Where
that
do you
means they would
connect?
need to go through and do that with all the ships, or they would again
With
do just
every
like a
ship.
proximity thing. That it's like, oh, you're magically filled up,
Yeah.
right? Maybe for the
Little
first
little
implementation.
drone comes out and carries it over.
I mean, maybe, but still, it would be really.
I mean,
they
that's
don't
kind of
do
what they do
things
with the
like-
landing pads now. It's just sort of, oh, you're filled up now.
that's-
Without
that's
any
good.
ready to
like
go.
fuel guys. I imagine they'll have that later, where they have guys that come out and latch on fuel things, and or maybe robotics or whatever to do that. But right now we don't
Yeah.
have that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I
Okay.
want to see those tethers coming across, and you want to be able to possibly interdict
Yes.
that and come in the middle and be like, nope, you're not getting fuel.
Or shoot it off or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
So, do we think that with the Caterpillar they might have the salvage or cargo mechanics? Same
Maybe
joke,
some of the
maybe?
salvage stuff, because that's what the arm on the right hand side under the wing is, in that whole little section. Yeah, I don't really know.
I know we none of us really know, but we are
Um,
discussing possibilities.
I'd love to see cargo.
Oh, so would I, man.
yeah,
I mean,
it would be nice to see more of a cargo
Yeah.
mechanic of taking something to somewhere and getting rewarded for it.
I think out of those, I want cargo and then salvage the most.
Even if it's like, I think you can probably do cargo, and this is probably how they will do it, is you find it somewhere out there, you push it in, like, you push it into your ship maybe, and all you have to do is land at Port Olisar, and it just kind of disappears, and you
Mhm.
get paid for it, type of thing.
Yeah, that's early implementation. That'd be fine.
Yeah. And I think they could do something like that, but I don't know. Yeah, how would your ship know that it's in there? All this stuff. So there's probably, I don't know. They talked about it a long time ago on ATV with the guys in the UK about they're designing it, but ever since then, it's
Well, I
kinda
mean,
just
since
been-
we were talking about the Buccaneer, I guess we can go into it was released. We saw more concept art and everything. So let's take a look at this. I have this the Drake Buccaneer set sail. And then
set
along
sail.
yeah, and then they talk about designing it and some behind the scenes on it. And they also have a customer survey, which I have here as well.
Oh yeah.
And now
filled
it's
it
on
in today.
question 3. And
I forgot to answer question 2.
it's been interesting. I sort of while these are questions that are affecting a specific ship, I think that it would have made sense because this is to thank you for your interest in Drake Interplanetary ship, the single-seater multi-role ship. I think that this should have been for people who at least had Drake ships. Like if you had a Drake ship, you had option to this, as opposed to just sort of everybody. But I also understand why they did it for everybody. But just the way that they worded it, it's like, oh, and then you have everybody that can just vote on it. That's don't
And
even
most
care
people are
about
going
it.
to vote nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what's happened, is everybody's voted nice
human-
on it, and it's like,
Yeah.
for a lot of the questions, it's like, and it looks like one's going towards more like group play, and one is more towards lone wolf. That's what I'm getting out of those symbols.
Yeah.
Symbols as
I think
well.
they're
Yeah,
trying to be
you're right,
tricky
mate.
with that. Is one is the group play and one is the lone wolf.
Lone Wolf and Wolf Pack. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you haven't done that, that's at robertspaceindustries.com/Buccaneer, BUCCANEER. Make sure you sign in with your RSI account and you can vote on that. And they will have 10 questions in total. We're on question number 3 right now.
And to be clear, what those questions are about is we can kind of go into the stats on the Buccaneer right after this, but there's a size 4 mount on the underbelly of the Buccaneer that can turn 360 degrees back and forth.
Right.
And
It's for the
a size
weapon.
4 mount, just like the ball turret on the Super Hornet.
Super Hornet,
So it can either have turret with 2 size 2 weapons, or you can have a single size 4. So the size 2 weapons are gimbaled. Yeah, the size 2 weapons are gimbaled. I think.
Yeah, the size
I look
2,
really stupid
size
right
2
now.
would be gimbaled. Yeah.
I don't know.
On a turret.
they're
All
gimbaled.
turrets are gimbaled.
Two size. Yeah. There's
And
size
then
3
the
gimbals.
size 4 would not be gimbaled.
Yeah.
So that's what the questions are about. They're going to give you a size 4 weapon, which we only have 2 of. So it's the C888 or whatever, the
C788 combined
there you go.
cannon thing.
Combined ballistic cannon, and the Revenant on the I love that gun on the Vanguard. So those are the 2 that you'd be choosing that we would get.
It's possible that it
Unless
might be
they
a
come up
new
with another
weapon
one.
we have. Yeah, there might be a new weapon we haven't seen yet.
But it's not possible, because on RTV they said it's a weapon that's in the Voyager Direct store. So it's between those 2.
Okay.
So it's possible, but most likely, unless they change their mind, it's one of those 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming the combined ballistic cannon, given that it's white, is the nicer side, and the Revenant, because it's a badass sounding weapon, is the not.
I don't know. It's just,
We'll have to see. There may be weapons that we don't even know about yet.
I like to think that a Gatling
Matt Sherman
gun.
just said it's a pre-existing weapon. Yeah.
Oh.
I like to think that the Gatling gun, that's basically it and its bullets are all flying with its friends. So it's the group one. Friendly bullets. Whereas the ballistic cannons, it's a lone wolf. It keeps on firing single shells.
Yeah, and that weapon is so awesome. That's why I'm kind of getting mad that people are leaning the other way. Because I want that. I want the ballistic cannon. And thanks for answering that, Matt, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to post the info runners.
Well, I mean, I think we could talk a bit more about the Buccaneer, right? And the stats on it. I think it's cool that it's... I think... I don't know if this was on purpose, but the weapons, that like the actual gun stats, are exactly the same as the Super Hornets. Just in different places. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
The guns kind of are exactly the same.
The only thing that's different is the front nose turret can be replaced with a bigger weapon, whereas the 2 side wing mounted guns cannot.
Yes, that is a big difference, actually.
And those are gimbal. Everything on the Hornet is gimbaled, whereas the 2 wings are fixed. But
I guess I never look at that stuff because I'm a joystick pilot.
Yeah, those wings that are fixed would be good for sucker punches.
Yeah, so I guess the base is what the Super Hornet would be, because you have 2 size 1s, you have the size 4 mount that could be either 2 size 2s or size 4, plus the size 2 gimbals that can either be size 3 fixed or size 2 gimbals.
But then on the Buccaneer, you have the size 3 rocket pods, which, as of right now, this may change in the future. With the Delta, you can remove those rocket pods and put weapons
and
on
put
them.
guns there.
So I don't like the idea that you can put guns on those rocket pod mounts. I like the idea that they're pylon mounts and that you can put only certain things there. Although that said, I suppose if they've got the correct pipes and it limits what you can put there, maybe you should be able to put guns there. But just the idea of rocket pods or extra fuel tanks and that sort of stuff is more appealing to me for customization and when you have to try and balance your ship. Because if you give people too much choice, you're going to have some super ships of death that people are going to go, this is the only way to play this, and it gets annoying.
I also think the reason that we kind of like the idea of putting guns there, or not like the idea of putting guns there because it's probably too strong, is that missiles were so shitty for so long.
Yes.
That you didn't want to use missiles, right? So everyone liked the idea of more guns because that's how you killed people. But hopefully that's not going to be the case going forward, right? So you actually want those missile pods there.
I'm sure if you could put guns there, that we're going to see Drake Buccaneer loadouts when the full game comes out that are just energy weapons, cheap as hell, and it will literally be a PvE fighter that's really cheap to maintain. And you'll just fly in and you go pew, 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 with your lasers, not spending any money, sort of just go thrift bot fighter.
Yeah, it'll be from Thriftbot Interplanetary.
I'm going to start a new
Then you have to worry.
Thriftbot.
Then you have to worry about power consumption and things like that with that many weapons on a ship that small.
Oh my god! Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a ship like the Buccaneer is going to make
customizability.
more sense with ballistic weapons than laser weapons. And I think
Yeah.
that would give it a good weakness because you're limited on ammo, and that ammo costs a lot of money, especially if you're refueling, like arming all of those weapons. It balances it out a little better. Like, I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to put laser weapons on it. It would just overheat, or it would just go through that power a lot quicker, or you would need to spend the money on a much better engine, like
Power plant or cooler,
plant or whatever. Yeah.
I like the idea that it's a balancing act. What I don't want in Star Citizen from the component system and the pipe system are builds that are, this is the best build, full stop. I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
Yeah. It'd be really such a shame if there's like, well, this is the build you go for Super Hornet if you want to be competitive PvP. If that's happening, that's annoying. And they need to make sure that there's enough customization and balance and clever fighting that doesn't happen. That's going to be hellish to balance.
Yeah, I agree. And then I guess one of the other things, like, this was the only thing that I really took from the 10 for the devs this week, was that Ben mentioned somebody was basically complaining or asking a question, sort of complaining, saying that why are certain ships being developed when my Banu Merchantman isn't being developed and I bought it so long ago? And Ben mentioned that the Buccaneer is going to get fast-tracked, basically. So the Buccaneer is on the list of some of the ships to get ready now. And me and Source had a pretty good conversation about this earlier and why,
Why it makes sense.
I want to see my Banu Merchantman. I want to see my Carrack. I want to see all these ships. But the reason that some of these ships are coming in is because, well, they're working on the Drake aesthetic right now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they
ships.
bring in Drake ships.
Right?
Right?
It's something that they need. It's a staple for pirates. Like, this is a staple ship for pirates, right? So it's the twin to the Cutlass, right? Like, it's the answer to the Cutlass fighter, not being a fighter and being more of a freighter ship. And so it's like, well, this is a ship that's needed for piracy, which is the opposite side of the spectrum, for all the dogfighting ships and everything that are in there. And then on top of that, you have not only they're working on the Drake aesthetic right now with all the Drake ships. We have the Caterpillar, we have the Herald in work right now. Who knows what's going on with the Cutlass? And so you have at least those two ships that we know that they're working on extremely hard. A lot of those assets are and textures and everything are going to be moved on and used in the other ships in that family. And then you also look at ships like the Gladius, you look at things like the Saber and things like that, and how fast those came in, because they're just single. This is just a single-seater ship. This isn't some big, massive thing that's going to take.
It's also like the Saber, though, in the fact that it has no game mechanics to it other than combat.
It's just combat, and that's
down.
it. Well, it has the smuggling thing. They did say that
they can do that later,
but they can do some more of that stuff later on. And they said that they're starting to work on that now anyways, because they want to introduce that mechanic. And I imagine smuggling would probably come in with the hulling mechanic.
Well,
or very soon after.
Yeah.
With the Banu, I mean, they need to finish off polishing their, like...
the race.
And developing the race first. And then, that ship is massive. And they don't even have the testing.
It's going to be way bigger, too. It's going to be way bigger than it is.
Well, exactly. So if they started developing and putting out the Banu now, they were going to have to remake it 3 or 4 times before the game goes live. That is not efficient resources. Yes, we want the Banu Merchantman. The ship's huge. It looks beautiful. It's going to be awesome as hell. But it's really inefficient for them to do it at the moment, which is annoying, but it is what it is.
And that's just the way it is for a bunch of the ships.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that the ships that are being developed now, we're on the squad. We have to be at that Squadron 42 push. Like we discussed this last week. We're 12 months away from today. We're 12 months away from 2017, or 6 months away from 2017. Sorry, and they have to be pushing, right? So is the Banu like? Are we going to interact with the Banu during Squadron 42?
Unlikely.
There's no maybe. It's obviously no.
Yeah.
Right at this point, because they're saying that we have to flush out the Banu a little more. We need to know more about their culture and stuff like that. Well, guess what? If we were going to interact with them in Squadron 42, they would know that stuff, and that would be one of the priorities. So
we may see some of the race walking around, but I don't think we're going to see.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So like, and if we would see them walking around, I feel like we would see some of their ships.
Mm-hmm.
And given that we're not, so you have to understand that the Banu, the Xi'an, those kind of things, those are important
Tavaran,
for
the
Star Citizen. Yeah, all those are important for Star Citizen. And the game that's being developed right now
Squadron
is
42, Vanduul and Humans.
42
UEE,
with
Pirates.
Star Citizen, with the Star Citizen Alpha kind of chugging along behind it. Mm-hmm. So the ships that are coming in are important for that. And then, so getting the Drake aesthetic for maybe certain ships like the Herald, that's going to be in Squadron 42 most likely. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think so. I think they mentioned something about the Herald doing some stuff in Squadron 42. So they need to get that aesthetic done and ready to go for assets for Squadron 42. They don't need the Banu assets. They don't need the Endeavor assets and stuff, right?
I like the idea of you being in a Drake Herald in Squadron 42 at some point, like a secret mission or behind enemy lines mission, just capturing data, like intercepting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Squadron 42 is going to be a lot like the Wing Commander games, where it was go to this nav point, kill everything there, survive this asteroid field, go to the next nav point, kill everything there, maybe blow up a space station, and then come back.
Games have got a lot more complex.
Yeah, which were most of the missions in Wing throughout all of the series. It was a lot of come in contact with the enemy and kill everything. So I think we'll probably see a lot of different kind of gameplay there. I don't think we're going to be hauling cargo or anything in Squadron 42, but I think
we are in the military, right? So, but we know that the military uses the Herald.
Yeah, so that's where we're getting at, that we might see missions like that. But that's why you're not seeing some of the ships that you really want to see, because they're just not related to what we need right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I want the game to be good, but a lot of people are just getting like. But this is one point that we with the conversation that Source and I had earlier was, we've been around, and a lot of people have been around this game long enough. I think we kind of know a little bit of like, wow, game development takes a lot longer than we thought. So
and it's iterative.
Yes.
Remember
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So I'm growing a lot more patient about things, and I don't know how you guys feel. I think a lot of the community is getting more impatient, where I think they should be more patient, given that they're seeing how this stuff works. And I wish we got more game developers besides the trolley ones that come in and say, wow, I can't believe the progress that they're making, or wow, the amount of time that they've taken to get to where they are is quite impressive from other people other than people that work at CIG, because obviously they're not going to come out and say anything negative, because that would just be stupid. But I would love to hear from other people about that stuff, because we don't know, but I think we just have to be more patient about things, because I think a lot of the community is just they're starting to get impatient, and I understand why, but it's just not a positive thing to get like that. Yeah, but I guess we can go on to what we were talking about before. Was I've been doing some info runners stuff.
Yeah. Oh God, Twerk, yeah.
On the website.
This makes my life so much easier. Do you remember steal it? I steal the hell out of it. I'm a view vampire.
That's what they're there for.
I just look at your work and I go, I'm going to use that. No credit to you. No credit
and
at all.
I sleep very little because of this, and this is why I slept so much this weekend. I think was yeah. So basically, instead of just writing out what every word that they said, I thought I basically wanted to do what we do for the podcast each week. So this makes my life easier for preparing for the podcast, and it's basically taking everything that's happened in the weekly shows from the Star Citizen guys and taking out the tidbits that I think are really important and important to us.
You've misspelled the word episode.
Yes, I know, and I forgot to change that.
Epsido.
Yep.
Episodo.
I'm my own editor too, so it's kind of rough. But yeah, so like one of the things that I just put what I think is important in there, and it's good. So I have something to take a peek at for podcasts.
I really enjoy this because it's got a little bit of your opinion. It elaborates a little bit on some of the stuff they say, and you put the sources there, so I can read your opinion.
But then make your own.
Yeah, and then click on the source and then use it for my news. To merge them all together. It's really good work. I really like this.
Yeah, so in each little part is the source. So it'll say source. After each little blurb, there's a little thing in quotations that says source. And you can click on it, and it's literally the part of the video where the CIG guys talked about
what it's a timestamp on the video.
Exactly. So you can go and say, well, Torque, I completely disagree with you. You're an idiot. Or whatever, and that's what I think is good about it. It's my Cliff Notes, but you're also able to make your own opinion from that part because it's just quickly you can get right there.
Right.
So I kind of like the idea of that. So yeah. So I'm gonna try and do these as consistently as I can. We're trying to make the content as consistent as possible on the website, and this is that first little part of that, I think, and I'm gonna do my best. So make sure you guys hit the little heart button, the ones that you like, and comment on them. And if you don't like them, comment on them and tell me that I'm an asshole or something like that, because this is something that's really important.
You smell like doggy doo doo.
I really do right now because it's hot in here.
So if you don't like them, guys, give kindly on Patreon so they get better. Lol, lol, lol. Lol, lol, lol.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, so that's something I've been working on, and I hope the community enjoys it. So it's basically for like the Redacted kind of community where we take that gameplay, this weapon does this much DPS type, and we kind of pull that information out, and this is the stuff that's coming and things like that. So yeah, but that's what I got. So the next thing in the doc is AMD disappointment source. Now, both me and Bored did not see the live stream, so you're gonna have to share.
I have read it in the meantime.
Okay, I have. So
there's some good things and some what I was expecting to see from the AMD live presentation was flagships that deserve to be called flagships and not entry level cards and mediocre products. So basically what happened was I have a screen here, and there...
While you bring that up, can I interrupt you for a second? Can you guys exclamation point question in the chat if you guys have any questions, because we're getting close to that part of the
make sure you type in exclamation point HCS to get into that giveaway.
Yes.
So if you look at their previous generations of cards, you know what their naming conventions are. 280 is like the equivalent to a 970 or a 770 or that sort of range, whereas their 290s are sort of like their 1080s kind of deal. So when they announced, that's how their naming convention is. Their top tier cards are a 290X or a 390X or would be a 490X, whereas a top tier NVIDIA card is going to be a 1080 or a 1080 Ti or a 980 or 980 Ti, etc., etc. So when they released their specs for the RX 480, which is essentially their 770 or their 1070 or whatever it is, at first they said the price point, which was $200, which is super cheap, and they kept saying bringing console class gaming to PC. That was their quotes word for word. Bringing console class gaming to PC. I was just like, okay, this is not gonna go. This is all right. So I understand what they're trying to do. I understand they're trying to get people to move into the PC space at an extremely affordable price point. However, to do that, you do not put up a premium DirectX 12 performance of a 1080, which I can tell you right now, Ashes of Singularity runs. There's some benchmarks and stuff, I believe, on Steam that you can do. On my 980 Ti, I can get more than 58.7 FPS on it. So the other thing we know is that a lot of the internal benchmarks, whether by NVIDIA, Intel, AMD, whatever, are always a little better than they end up actually being tested in the wild.
Yeah, they're in very concealed environments.
Right.
Always wait for third-party sites that clearly have no links
always
to
perfect.
those companies.
So you know that if they're going to be testing something, they're going to be taking a worst-case scenario and whatever up against the absolute best-case scenario for them. So then when they showed this graph in particular, I was like, holy fuck, what are these guys doing? They show a 1080 getting 58.7 FPS at a $700 price range. And I don't know why they're showing I guess the price, and this is where they're trying to get people. They're showing 2 Radeon RX 480s against 1 card, which I think is ridiculous for a couple reasons. The first thing is
Crossfire causes issues, right?
Well, Crossfire you need to develop specifically for it. You need to.
It shouldn't as much with DirectX 12, but
it shouldn't as much with DirectX 12, but it's sort of yet to be seen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if history tells us anything that we can go off of, this is sort of inflated on their end, and that it's requiring 2 cards to do one single thing. The other thing they didn't mention at all was the 1070, which is an insane card for
380 or something, is it?
Yeah, 380,
right?
which is cheaper than this for 2 of those cards. The other thing is you then need a Crossfire compatible motherboard, and you need all of this other stuff as well. And the thing that bothers me the most about this entire thing is that they're calling this the 480. So a $200 card being called a 480, which is essentially their flagship card until they release their 490s or 490Xs or their Furies or whatever. But they won't be releasing those until Q1 of 2017, which tells me that, okay, great. These are awesome introductory cards, perfect for people getting into PC gaming or into base VR or whatever. But it gives no competition to NVIDIA at their 1070s, their 1080s, and eventually their 1080 Ti's.
They don't need to, though.
So, but from a consumer standpoint, they need to. Because if NVIDIA doesn't have any competition in that space, there's nothing to bring their prices down. There's nothing to do that except for their own internal stuff. There's no outside pressure.
At the moment, why AMD aren't ready for their next card, their next flagship model. These are bringing gaming to the masses. They are powerful cards. They're great for VR. They're great for gaming. They're just not great for people that want super ultra settings. But they're $200.
Right. These aren't enthusiast grade cards, is what I'm saying.
Oh no. But they are going to bring gaming to the masses, and that's what one of the things we do want with Star Citizen is that we don't want huge barriers to entry with
the other thing,
computers.
From the other perspective that you have to look at is where is AMD most popular, and what is AMD sort of known for? AMD is most popular for being price competitive for whatever their cards, right? Remember when the 290s and the 280, the R9 series, when it first came out, was super cheap before people figured out you could use them for Bitcoin mining, and then the prices shot through the roof. But
oh my god, yeah.
When they first came out, they were super cheap, and the only reason that the prices went up was because the demand just couldn't be met for them. But you also have to remember that they not only provide the GPUs for the PlayStation 4 and the new PlayStation 4.5, but the Xbox One and the new Xbox Mini and the new Xbox that'll be coming out, and the Nintendo consoles as well. So it's like, well, they are definitely putting out a shit ton of cards to those console manufacturers, and I think what their sort of goal is right now is to kind of grab those console guys and anybody who's, as the PC space is improving and getting bigger. I think they're trying to grab those guys that are coming from consoles over to PC and say, hey, look, it's not that expensive. It's easy to get over here and get some decent performance out of this. I'm just disappointed that they have named these the way that they are, which tells me that there's not really much going to be above this, right? There's room for a RX 480X or something, maybe.
Oh no,
or
no,
490 and a Fury.
Yeah, they've got the Fury and the Fury Nano though at the moment, and that's
Yeah.
so AMD, they are competing by, I mean, calling it the 480, I do feel a little bit like they're just trying to using naming conventions to their advantage there. I mean, so I do think that they will have some good top level cards that will be able to compete with the Nvidia ones. I'm neither an Nvidia nor AMD fanboy, and I'm always about value. So the fact that these cards are so cheap, it makes me happy because it does.
Because you can build, you could build a much cheaper gaming PC.
That would be great if I wasn't recording.
Right.
And you can
exactly.
And you can put console games inside of it.
Yeah. So this has made me think of something. You know that Xbox One, all of its games are slowly coming over to Windows Live, and there's going to be a lot, and there's going to be a huge push coming into the Windows Store for Xbox games. Now, what this is telling me is Xbox might be doing something, and that's why they're focusing on this. Because if somebody wants to, instead of buying an Xbox, go and buy a PC that can run all of those games from the Windows Store, this is going to be a little bit more than an Xbox, and not by a lot, right? So that could be sort of a hint at that as well, because AMD has that close relationship with those console manufacturers and everything. But I'm just a little disappointed that they didn't have any enthusiast grade stuff to show off that I could get excited about personally, and that our community could get excited about, right? So I was joking around, and I'm sure they can, but I was joking around. I was like, can a single 480 even run Star Citizen? You know, and I'm sure they can, but I don't know, like, I just don't like these benchmarks. They didn't really talk about much else, and they didn't have any other benchmarks to show against them. They sort of took the pinnacle of what NVIDIA has right now and said it got less than 60 frames per second on a DX12 game, which I don't think is correct. And then they have their numbers, which are historically inflated. So I was really disappointed. And then their Zen thing. I'll pull that up here really quickly. They also showed their new Zen CPU, which granted is an 8-core CPU, 16 threads. But the way that they showed it was AMD Zen. It was, so they did this. They showed whereas they showed a render of a video, and I was like, really? You could probably do this on a web server. But I don't think, I'm trying to look to see if I have the actual video here. I just have people's let's see if I can bring it in this way. Yeah, I don't have it. I just have like Linus Tech Tips and everything that came up. But the thing is what they showed essentially was a black circle being rendered, right? That comes around. This is Zen circle. And then in basic text, it just said, I am Zen. And what they were really excited about, they were like, that was fully created and rendered using just that CPU. And I was like, it wasn't really, it looked like something made in Windows Movie Maker. Like, it was not impressive at all. And if anybody who watched it, or if I can find it later, I'll post a link to it in the Discord or something. It was not impressive at all. And that was their high tier crazy CPU that they're talking about. And when granted, the price is huge on the Intel new i7, that's a 10 core crazy thing, but it is that crazy thing, and that's
it's
sort of what
top end enthusiast chip
the
for
top,
people that want it.
But that's how AMD was promoting this, is that it's their top end enthusiast chip, and is whatever. So just a little disappointing in display, and then on top of that, they had some of their hardware manufacturers there, or hardware partners, HP and Dell, and they came on and basically were trying to sell their laptops, which was kind of tacky on its own. And then when Dell went up, right after, they did them right after one another. So when Dell came up, they're like, oh, I guess they saved their best hardware manufacturer for last. And it was just so cringy and so tacky that it just was, it had no place being.
It was like our podcast.
Yeah, it was like our podcast. But the thing is our podcasts aren't biased to, like, you know, one or other sort of thing. We all work together. And for that, it was very, yeah. Listen.
Because I'm drinking fine sea salt, because I'm pretty salty.
I'm drinking Florida natural spring water. That's definitely
God.
like
gross. Isn't that swamp water?
Yeah,
that's what I think of Florida spring water.
At any local shop.
Why is it so green? Why is the green screen?
Why is there algae on it? Yeah. So that's my personal thing, and I know it's not really. I'm trying to come at it from an objective standpoint, because I know that you guys didn't see it, and I know I'm not going to really get much argument back. But that's where I'm standing from for it. It's good for the entry level. It's terrible for the enthusiasts. Enthusiasts, I don't think are going to go near AMD, unless they're hardcore AMD fanboys, essentially.
I feel that it breaks down barriers, not because I don't feel it's entry level anymore. I feel they've made a mid range card, and they've made it at the entry level prices, and that's what makes me happy, because it's powerful enough to run games. I
think of a 1070 as a mid range card.
I think of a 1070 as a higher end mid range card, but yes, it's at definitely the top echelon of mid range.
Yeah,
I mean, it's with a 970, you can run Star Citizen perfectly well. I mean, I'm running a 970 at the moment until my 1080 arrives. So.
Oh my God! Somebody mentioned Star Citizen for the first time in 10 minutes on a Star Citizen podcast.
Ding 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 ding! And that's the word of the day. Congratulations.
Yes. Win. The Drake Buccaneer QA just went up.
Excellent.
I've read it already.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't read it yet.
They didn't really talk about much that haven't already.
Something about quantum and jump drives or something.
Yeah, so the Quantum Drive has it as stock, and you can probably you can fit a jump drive if it doesn't come on with one stock. They haven't decided whether it comes one stock or not yet. The jump drive.
What's the point in that? What's the point of not having one stock?
Because they haven't decided.
Yeah, but what would be the reason behind not having it? I guess
a jump drive. I thought all the ships except for the Merlin had them at this point in time.
Quantum drives, not jump drives.
Oh, yeah.
So quantum drive stock, jump drive. Not all ships have a jump drive, but they will be able to fit one.
Yeah, like I just don't get not having it fully capable.
Most of them.
I thought all of them had it still. I thought that was the jump drive that it didn't have, and then they decided after that it wouldn't be able to quantum either.
Yeah,
within a system.
And then do you want to get into some questions?
I would imagine the Drake Dragonfly won't have it either.
Yeah. The other one that was interesting question-wise was, are the size 1 pylon mounts meant to take guided missiles or dumbfire rockets? And it says they'll be capable of firing full guidance missiles. While the exact count in the launchers may vary from the concept, it currently shows 12, into the working ship, they will be part of the Buccaneer's combat toolkit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And they said that smuggling mechanics, they aren't ship specific. So There is no cargo on the Buccaneer. If they do smuggling mechanics, there will be some sort of like modules that you can put on ships in general. That will be like
and
less engine space, but you have
they'll be testing it with this ship, I guess, or something.
Maybe.
Or well, yeah, I don't know. I guess this ship sparked their. We have to think about this stuff. Maybe.
Well, it's surely it was the Hull C. The Hull C was all about the smuggling stuff. When they were talking about it, because that was in part of its lore. But I suppose, with ships with zero cargo space, people are like, well, I want to put some discrete cargo in. You can't do that yet, but we'll see if there is smuggling sections.
Well, and going into that, there was a question that said there appears to be space behind the pilot seat that looks like room for an additional seat or potential space for small cargo. Will there be any function to this space? So there will be a few components the pilots will be able to access from the space, with the most notable being a full-size weapon rack available. It won't be any sort of discrete cargo space, but you'll have enough space on the rack for at least 3 standard FPS weapons up to the size of the sniper rifle. It's pretty big. As for the possibility of an additional seat, the Buccaneer is intended to be a single-seat fighter. We do not anticipate a change to this in the future. Or for any potential variants. So you can, maybe repair your power plant or your shield component if it breaks, go like spin your seat around type thing, and also grab a weapon before you leave.
I think a lot of people forget the fact that we're going to have pockets on our clothing. So we will be able to carry like space drugs in a concealed pocket if you wanted to, I suppose. But even the small ships
stuff.
Yeah.
Low level stuff.
But having the weapon racks and stuff like that, I think that's cool as hell. I'm excited about stuff like that in one-seater ships, because I love the idea of having full weapons racks and grabbing your gun, having to put it down before you get out of your ship.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
Even like single-seater ships, I like that idea. Because how's it going to work in all the single-seater ships we have now? It's a little weird, right? So you kind of can only really hold a pistol at the moment. Yes, we have our gun on our back, but it doesn't really. It definitely clips through the seat and is behind the seat when you're flying.
When we have boarding and landing and stuff, and shipboarding and station attacks and stuff that matter, time management is going to be such a factor. So having stuff that you have to equip before a battle, or quickly run in and remember to grab your gun and your spacesuit, like get it on and everything, that's going to be so vital to winning or losing a battle based on what you grab, how quickly you do it, did you forget anything. I just that form of gameplay I really like. I think it's really exciting.
So do you want to go to questions? I think we should probably be like kind of lightning roundy for these, because we're coming up to 6, plus the end patch came out. So I know Saurus is going to stream after this, and you got it's going to take some time to download. So we can lightning round them.
We'll lightning round through, let's say, 5 of them.
My body is ready.
We'll carry the next over to next week. But we're going to start with this one from Sunday of Doom, with how slow the Buccaneer sale has been. Do you think it's due to community not being too pleased by the not too Drake aesthetics the Buccaneer has, or do you think it's just due to melting and buying with credits? I think it's just from ship burnout. I think that the amount of people that have bought all their ships that they want have bought them, and they sort of now just, they have their fighter ship. They don't need another fighter ship unless they're waiting for a specific Drake one, like myself. And even then, I'm melting ships that I have to get this. I'm not buying new ones.
It's massively slow. I mean, it's all right. I mean, the
sale's not over. It's the first Q&A. People probably were waiting for that.
People have just been paid. I'd expect this weekend there'll be lots of sales for it. And I mean, on the 28th, they made 173,000. I mean, that's good money.
Yeah, they made $1.4 million last month.
And loads of people are going to be melting those ships down with store credits and buying a Buccaneer and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think they're selling well.
I think that's the trend that's going to be going forward. Is a lot of things are going to be switching with store credits from now on. So the funding is going to be lower no matter what. And I hope they understand that, because a lot of people have spent a lot of money.
We have a question from Proxus on the road.
He is on the road right now. He's in a car.
Would you like to see,
modding from the car.
yeah, would you like to see them bring in gray box versions of ships earlier to use as wrecks in the PU? 100%. For example, a derelict
Yeah, that'd be
caterpillar
awesome.
before hangar ready, full of cargo to salvage.
Yes.
Yeah, I would really like to see
That would
that.
be amazing.
Hide them really well as well.
I would-
people
And
be searching for them.
I would
And
like
gray
to see
box
gray
ships
box
don't
things.
like they're not heavy resource wise,
No.
right?
Because there's
yeah, definitely.
there's no textures on them. Well, maybe the gray
Well, you
box
could-
ones do. I'm thinking white box.
Yeah, so they don't need to do the
I wanna
interiors
see white
properly
box.
because they're smashed and destroyed.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a really
Yeah.
good idea, Bruxus.
Yep.
Definitely.
Let's see. This one is relevant, and with all the people freaking out lately, is are you worried CIG and Chris Roberts will not be at E3? Does this mean for sure that Squadron 42 is not coming in 2016?
No, they've said that they're doing Gamescom in August and CitizenCon.
Okay, so
and
last
that's really
year
all they
there
had
was
in
a
mind.
video. There was a video last year where
Yeah.
Chris Roberts said he was going for the PC gamer thing at E3, but things change,
ago.
and it doesn't make sense for them to go. It costs too much money.
It's
It takes too
expensive,
much
yeah, it's
resources.
so expensive.
It's not even the money. It's the resources it takes to get and set up for one of those things. Takes away from the development on Squadron 42 and Star Citizen right now, and is irrelevant. It's completely
about-
irrelevant right now.
How about he's just in London right now, so he's not going to be there because,
Yeah.
like I said before, it's 6 months away from his game coming out. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it
You
just
know?
it doesn't.
He's not
make
going to be there to
sense.
talk about PC gaming. Like,
Did I
sorry.
imagine them talking about a while ago that they didn't agree with E3 because it was too expensive and they didn't like it for Star Citizen?
Yeah,
Or did I imagine?
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember ever hearing that, but I don't think they were ever planning on going to
Yeah.
E3. So I don't know where all this. They said 2 months ago they were going to be here thing.
Yeah.
So that's, the sky is
Just-
not falling.
Wild Proxys cannot.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go with this question. And this is from Steve J 1397, and he asks, "What is the thing you like most about 2.4 that you didn't expect?"
The pirate and defender gameplay for sure. I was not I expected persistence just be okay. I do the ICC missions now. I get paid for them. I get some money, and I go buy clothes with them, and then I get bored after a week.
Mhm.
So that.
So, I mean, I really enjoyed being able to play hide and seek on a flyable Starfarer with you to work.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I found a use for the EMP weapon in group combat.
That's fun.
Yeah, that EMP disabling like 8 pirates.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh,
and then
really?
everyone's going.
Cleans them up.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, just clean them up like a couple of seconds.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that takes all their shields and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
just
all they
pull them right
have.
out.
They don't have any armor.
You stand there and float if you're the EMP guy, but everybody else cleans up the pirates around you. So
Also, I think I was continuously
play.
playing out Starfarer as well with the MP because it was funny.
yeah.
I don't. I don't think I've come across anything that I haven't expected, but I think that I've been most impressed with the team gameplay. I think we're all sort of on the same board with that, and it just makes the game so much more fun for all of us.
Absolutely.
I suppose one
I've really
of the
enjoyed it.
the major things that was unexpected that I enjoy is the devs changing and adding bits to the PTU
Yeah.
as we asked for it. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
true. That's true.
Yeah, that's something that they were kind of doing early on, but nothing
Not
to this
as
level.
direct
The
as
interaction
Saurus, what do
they've
you
had
want to
with us-
see at Korea?
Mhm.
This.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
the
I'll put it
interaction
in
they've
next
had
patch.
with us is great.
Yeah.
You must have clocked up the most time of any player or one of the top players in Korea easily, Saurus.
I
mean,
think so.
easy.
I think
You
I
live
probably
that.
have the most UEC. I don't know if anybody who's even
From
broken
murder.
100K yet. Yeah.
uh,
So yeah. You said you're into the economy. Well, guess what? Pirate life.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So those are what we have really, really enjoyed. Let's go with this one here from Sunday of Doom. So far, some of the more vocal Hornet and Saber fans have been panicking on the forums about the Buccaneers stats making them look bad. Do you think it's justified?
No, because in the FAQ, it talks about their balance towards each other. So although the Buccaneer might have comparable weapon loadouts to the Super Hornet and Saber, the Saber is going to have better missile loadout, better hull durability, and emitting notably less,
right?
Yeah, notably less signature. And I expect also to have a significantly better power plant as well. And the Super Hornet is going to be tanky.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneer is not going to be tanky.
Yeah. I imagine the Buccaneer will probably be the fastest out of the three of them.
I don't know. Maybe I suppose maybe in a straight line it might because of its engines. I'd expect the Saber to be pretty sexy and fast.
Well, you also remember 18 maneuvering thrusters on that Buccaneer.
Doesn't mean they're necessarily high quality and have great pipes. So I'm thinking that even lower thrust rating engines and thrusters and stuff, if they're higher quality and have better pipes and are able to get the power more easily, I think they might be better. And that is an assumption. But
I imagine
that's what I'm hoping to see.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Buccaneer is going to be the faster, more maneuverable.
Straight line.
I'm even going to say more maneuverable out of all the three, but lacking on shields, lacking on armor, basically get hits and dies. But it has a loadout. Then you have the Saber, that's very stealthy and kind of comes in and is closer and is fairly close to the speed of the Buccaneer. With less armor but more shields, and then you have the Hornet, which is the slowest out of the three of them, and is just like the tank. That is just like the brawler. So you have your brawler, you have your ninja, and you have your sprinter, and that's what I think those three sort of fit in that way. And even if they were all the same ship and they all did the same thing, it's variety. So
yeah, so something like Drake, I expect them to have serious downsides, like their components exposed on the outside of their ship or something,
right.
So that they can be pretty powerful and they can be pretty cool, but there are odd downsides that make them not as good as something like the Saber or the Super Hornet, which is more built for military consumption rather than civilian level fighter, because that's what it is. It's a civilian fighter.
Yeah. And this is going to be our second last question. We'll ask one more after this. This comes from Miku Hatsune. Predictions, hopes, and dreams for 2.5.
Wow. I think
Hope the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Hope and dream the caterpillar. I think.
Yeah,
hope it's the Drake patch. Hope it's the pirate patch. You know, you have the pirate base, more piratey stuff. And more of a balance, because right now it's very balanced towards UEE and friendly guys and those Drake ships.
I guess the prediction would be pirate base, more piratey clothing. Hopes would be and like the Herald and Hangar and probably the Reliant Flyable. Hopes would be more missions, and dreams would be procedural planet.
My hopes would be more missions, more weapons, and hopefully the start of gadgets.
Oh yeah, grenades and gadgets. Yeah, that's
dreams would be the procedural stuff and Nyx.
So I mean, I'd quite like cargo as well. I think that would be. Oh, I need cargo so bad. But I mean, my dream is that they allow Eva Carty stuff to be talked about. I don't give a damn about videos, screenshots, and streaming, but I want people to be able to talk about test builds. But that's my dream.
That's not happening.
Just hopefully nothing leaks anymore, and then it'll be all right.
Yeah, indeed.
Because if nobody knows, nobody knows. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So as long as no one's streaming or screenshotting and stuff like that, I like hype about the game. I like to be able to everyone to talk about the game at the same level, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
It
report
helps.
the news. Report the news. I want to talk about everything.
And let me just. And then we'll pull one last question.
Yeah, I guess my hope would be that it actually releases at the end of this month for 2.5.
Yeah.
That would be my real hope.
That's my dream.
Doesn't matter what's in it. I want a 5 at the end of the second digit.
Go on, Saurus. Come on.
No, I want to make sure the last one is.
Let me see if I can help.
Talking about my generation. There you see her sitting there
Whatever,
across the way.
I don't know what this.
Yep, cool. I was going to sing some Little Mermaid, but
Yep.
Fine.
Okay, so here we go. Last question is from Super Blast. Currently, I can get in the pilot's seat of my Saber with 4 personal weapons and fly around. 4 personal weapons. I think you can only get 3. And fly around. In the future, do you think we'll need to disarm ourselves and have a place in the ship to store them in order to take weapons with us? Yes. It'd be like a little thing. I know we have like weapons lockers in the larger ships.
And with those ships, you'll have to leave them at home. I
Yeah,
guess.
like some of the fighter ships and stuff like that. Unless there's a space for it specifically, I don't think you'll be able to bring. You might be able to bring a pistol and a rifle or something, but that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not going to be able to bring like what is the Revenant? Is that what it's called? What's the handheld railgun?
Oh, I don't think it has a name yet.
Okay. Well,
The
the
railgun.
railgun. Yeah. Like things like that you won't be able to just bring with you in the ship. I think the weapons that we have now, it's reasonable that you can bring them with you, right? You can throw a shotgun down beside the side of your leg and a rifle down the side of your other and have a pistol on your waist. But if you want like any of the big stuff or any of the bigger Titan armor and things like that, you're gonna need a specific ship to be able to bring that. Some ships might have space behind the seat or under the seat or outside.
Yeah, like the Buccaneer just mentioned.
But I don't think all of them will.
Those single-seater dogfighting ships are really meant.
They're single-seater dogfighters. Like if you think about, it's like an I don't know. I'm just gonna make up a number here. F-15 pilot, right? So your F-15 pilot or F-16, right? I have no idea. So you have your fighter jet pilots. They're not carrying assault rifles and all their ammunition and all of that stuff with them. They're in their flight suits flying, and that's what they focus on. Whereas your infantry guys are infantry. They don't have the oxygen masks and everything to go flying in space. So I think that's how they're going to do that. But let's draw that prize for the HCS voice pack.
All right. We're going to draw it now. We had 90. I'm going to close it now. We had 95 entries. So good luck, everybody. And the winner is Aimless Laser.
Aimless Laser.
Aimless Laser.
There you go.
So he can get back to us whenever. But what are we? What are you guys up to this week?
Well, I am going to be sleeping a lot, playing lots of Overwatch. But it's the beginning of the month of. Are we in June? We're in June. So we've got the monthly report soon, so I'll be getting a video out on that. There's lots of 2.4 stuff that I want to be doing, like full tutorials, making Star Citizen look as pretty as possible using Zenthor's reshade and ultra.cfg files. So I'll be getting all of that, talking about the Drake FAQs, the Buccaneer FAQs. I've got a really good video that I'm hopefully going to be getting out tomorrow if I've got enough time to do it, which will be called Drake Talk, and it will be talking about the golden age of Drake, which is now, if you haven't guessed. and we'll be talking about all we know about the Caterpillar and the Herald and that sort of stuff, and little bits of the other ships, but mainly focusing on those two. At the moment, I have a giveaway for a Buccaneer, which will be drawn at the end of the month. And all we've got to do is comment on any of our Star Citizen content. I say my Star Citizen content over the next month to be in for a chance to win that. You don't even need to be subscribed, although I would prefer that. And as always, thank you so much to my Patreons. I literally love you. You can find me at BoredGamer UK on pretty much all the social media and YouTubes in the world. And all your messages and people that contacted me to wish me well about the depression and mental health and have told me about their stories. You guys are awesome for coming forward. You're great for talking about it, and thank you for helping me. I do want to start something called Games for Brains, which will be focusing at men's mental health and depression and gaming.
Awesome.
And how they can help each other and kind of build a community where people can help each other and talk to each other about stuff and signpost each other to services that have helped them in their own countries, because it's different in each country. And healthcare in certain countries is significantly more expensive than other places. In the UK, it's great if I need any medication or anything. If you need medication for depression or whatever, cheap. In other countries, not so cheap or not available. But there are services and lots of other, there's CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy and stuff that can help. And there's loads of stuff. So I want, and there are computer game communities and computer games which can help you in your life as well. But we'll talk about that later when I know more. I'm going to develop the idea more. But yes, sorry, I've been rambling. I'm excited about something again. But Twerkster,
Yep.
What are you up to?
So now I have to figure out, now that I have that like giveaway system kind of figured out, now I have to figure out what giveaways I'm going to be doing. So that's going to go up on the Redacted calendar. There's like a little calendar on the Redacted website, and I'm going to kind of plan those out going forward. And I'm going to play Stellaris on Sunday. I swear we're going to get that multiplayer game going again. And Monday I'm going to play a little more Subnautica, unless something changes with Star Citizen or anything like that. I definitely want to do some of that. And yeah, and that's about it. I'll say where I can find myself first, and then push where you guys can find me, and then push it to you guys. But you guys can find me at Saurus. I'm sorry, I zoned out for a second. You said what you're doing, right? Okay.
No, I haven't.
Oh, go then. I thought I missed it, so go ahead.
So you can find Twerk17 here. Twerk17.
But what have you been doing this week? Or what do you got going on this week?
So this week, I have a few things. So hopefully my mixer comes in and I don't have to deal with that. And so I'll be messing around with some audio stuff and doing all of that. On Friday, I have a charity stream that's going to be on twitch.tv/beatthedev. And that is for environmental and getting people out more in nature and stuff like that to some of those foundations. We will be playing a lot of 2.4. I'm going to be playing 2.4 right after this. While I'm updating, I'm going to read the Buccaneer Q&A and all of that fun stuff. And we'll do another HCS voice pack giveaway. Other than that, that is all I can think of that's coming up in the near future. Until things go to live. And so we don't know when that is. But yeah. Yeah, maybe I've sort of laid off the Overwatch a little bit because people didn't really, I don't think people really found it interesting.
I have
I liked it playing it, but
Hmm.
I don't think it plus Star Citizen has been more playable, so
Yeah, indeed.
so I just want to say thanks to all of my subs, all my followers, and my patrons. And you can find me at twitch.tv/WTFOSaurus and twitter.com/WTFOSaurus. Also, make sure, guys, to go and check out the Redacted website for all of your Star Citizen needs at redacted.tv and the forums at forums.redacted.tv. And thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week. Same bat time, different bat channel. And,
it'll be on WTFOSaurus' channel next week.
Take care, and I'll be back on in about 5 minutes here. All right, guys, take care.
Bye.